Welcome back. Let's now talk about that signing into law of the Students' Loan Bill. Now it's an act. Now it becomes a law for students to be able to access loan for their tertiary education. It's a range of annotations that was done on the first bill that was initially signed by the president. It was repealed, reenacted, and now the changes have been reflected. And we've been joined in the program by the President, National Association of Nigerian Students, Mr. Lucky Omonofe. Mr. Omonofe, thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning and good morning, viewers.
Mr. Omonofe, let's begin with some housekeeping as to the status of NANS leadership. On one hand, there is a group that supports you, Lucky, and there's another group that supports Pedro Obi. Can you help us clear all of that controversy about the leadership of NANS before we get to this issue of students' loan?
Thank you very much. I'm the undisputed leader of NANS. There's no controversy about it. In NANS, those who lost out of elections will always want to come up with little. It's undisputed that, yes, of course, I'm the national president of NANS. The education sector, even the Nigerian student knows their president. And of course, we'll make so many impacts towards that. So there's no argument about the issue of NANS leadership. Like the one that appeared yesterday is one of the leaders of the association, I think so, that was talking about the bill and is not acquitted. He has not even seen the repeal or the reenactment of that bill. He's not conversant with the document itself. So we can disregard that.
Well, that's not why we brought you, but of course, at some point that conversation will be brought to the fore. But let's talk about this particular bill. What is the reception so far from the students' community? Are the students satisfied with, from your end, from what they've seen? I know they've not seen this law in totality, the signed one, but there was a policy note that guided as to what changes will be effected from structure to all of the elements of that particular bill. What's the reception like?
Yes, with so much joy and happiness, the students were delighted, they are happy. I think yesterday I was in the University of Abuja, where we have about 2,000 students. We are addressing them, telling them the changes, those areas that were so stringent for them that have been removed. So the students are excited, they are happy, and they can't wait for the full implementation of this scheme. And I think it will have a turnaround in the education sector. Even parents too can't wait, especially those who can afford to pay the fees of their children and their kids as well.
So 2 days since it was enacted into law by the president appended his signature. I think the big question on the minds of people will be, when will they be able to now access the loans? When will they be able to apply for it and access it? Is this going to take months? Is it a matter of months, years? Because they've waited for so long. This announcement was made last year, by the way, and we're nearing the middle of the year, and it looks like it's not starting. So when do you hear that this will start exactly?
Okay, I know in the coming week, there are going to be the structure, and when the structure is put in place, like, the management structure, according to the reenactment, the new one now, is going to be in place immediately. I know Mr. President is not going to waste time in it. And immediately they kickstart it, we are going to do quick sensitization, how students will apply, how to get it, the categories, it's categorized into 3. So how they are going to assess it. Especially, we need to do proper orientation, because we want a situation whereby our student can assess it with high numbers of students assessing it. That is the purpose. So when some students are not even aware that this student condition has been removed, so we need to do proper sensitization. And I know in the shortest period of time now, they are going to kickstart. Once they announce the new board, the managing director with the directors, of course, work will start immediately. And we're going to do sensitization across all our campuses so that students, the app will immediately be launched. You know, the other time they want to launch the app, but because of the thing was not properly structured, some interests were not captured, and there are areas we raise of concern that need to be amended. I think this is the reason why they say, okay, let's do it properly before we kickstart the process so that Nigeria students can benefit massively from this scheme. So in the shortest period of time, we are confident that it will kickstart.
Okay, Mr. Manofa, you talked about what it lacked in the previous act, how, especially talking about recovering these loans. In this new act now, what is the process like? How possible will it be, especially in terms of initiating enforcement in trying to recover these loans? And how easy will it be for these students when they are ready to pay back?
Okay, like the repayment plan is that when you start working, it is 10% deduction monthly from your salary. Then even after NYC, 2 years, no work, and they will initiate a repayment, the NER fund will initiate a repayment process. You, as a beneficiary, you now have the right to swear affidavit that look at this, look at this, look at this, I'm not yet working, and I can't pay now. They will give you what we call extension. There is room for extension of loan until you start receiving something. So these are little changes, and it's beneficial to Nigeria students as well. Then there is equally provision for forgiveness, loan forgiveness as well too. That if, for instance, by accident or any other thing happen, either death or any other issue, or you are sick and it is confirmed, of course, the NER fund can do what we call no loan forgiveness. Then during the public hearing, I think we make a case, and this can be part of the policy because the board has right to make other policy for the running of the funds. So we make a case during the public hearing that students that are brilliant, that are sharp, that can come out with first class, of course, there should be room for loan forgiveness too. I think this can come as a part of policy during the management, or they can develop that policy. That don't have to be in the act particularly. We make case for that so that at least we know that if students are brilliant, they can take their studies seriously, of course, they can have forgiveness, especially those who have first class as well. And we equally make case that, of course, those who get this loan, employment advantage should be given to them too. So I think we are in the right direction. I want to thank Mr. President for this. We are in the right direction.
When you say employment advantage should be given to those who get this loan, what do you mean?
Like, for instance, when I said those who graduated and they have not been able to get job, either through government or private sector, of course, they should be considered maybe in terms of application, maybe where we have like 100 people to be taken, those people can be given some level of percentage so that they can't. Because the essence, according to Mr. President, is that if the fund comes back, others can benefit from the process, so that it will be a continuous process. So I'm bringing this in as a way of getting the fund so that it will be a continuous process, because when they pay it back, other people can get from it too.
So does this cover, this is just basically, because I know that there were included vocational studies, people in tertiary institutions. Does this cover postgraduate as well?
No, there is no postgraduate.
Okay, I just wanted that to be on record. Now, as a students' body, laws, we don't have a problem with laws in Nigeria. We have loads of laws. Implementation is always the issue. As a students' body, now, it is now body corporate with a common seal and a perpetual succession. It can be sue and can sue. What is NANS preparing for in terms of projection in case the managers of this fund are not living up to expectation?
Okay, good. That's why we want and we advocated, and I think it has been captured, that students should have a representative who will protect the interest of Nigeria students there, that will monitor, supervise the process. And I think in the new act now, the one that I just signed, there's a representative of students. The essence is that the loan is all about students, and we should have someone who will speak for the yearning and the aspiration, the interest of Nigeria students in it. There, we equally advocated that in the board or in the management, people with student-oriented ability should be allowed, because they know what students pass through, they know what students feel, and they can at least protect the interests of Nigeria students. Who have student-oriented background should always be allowed to handle this issue. Then on our own, as leaders of Nigeria students, we are going to monitor the process to ensure that there is effective implementation for the benefit of Nigeria students. The truth is that I think I was in the University of Abuja yesterday, and the students were excited, they were happy that, of course, they will now have access. Nobody will complain that, I don't have money, I can't attain higher education anymore. So, of course, students are happy, and will monitor the process. We'll give our students proper orientation during the process.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I need us to define what loan means, really, so we can manage expectations properly. So does it mean it will cover the tuition and accommodation in its entirety? So imagine I'm attending the University of Ibadan, and my tuition is 150,000 naira, accommodation is 50,000 naira. This is just hypothetical, by the way. So a total of 200,000 naira. Is that what I will get from government, or government has a threshold that it will give? Maybe it will give me 100,000 naira or more to cover that. So let's define what student loans mean in our own context.
Okay, the loan itself is in different categories. First, if the one for tuition fee, those are like in federal institution, there is no tuition fee. The one for tuition fee, where we have state universities, you can apply for tuition fee. That one will be paid directly to the school account. That is the management. Then you have the one for rent. That one will be paid directly to your landlord. The student as well to equally have rights to apply for pocket money. That one will be paid directly to the student for the upkeep. In the act, it is called upkeep. So you have right to equally apply. Within, I think it's within from the range of 50 to 500,000 you can apply, depending on the fee, and it will be categorized, it will be stated, of course, so that you pay even those your departmental charges, development levy, they are part of the fees you pay. That is for the tuition. Then if you are in the school hostel, they will pay directly to the school account. I think if you are outside of campus, they will pay to your landlord. The students who have right to apply, for instance, in a semester where you have like 3 to 4 months, if your feeding is 30,000, it means you can apply for the semester. 40 or 30,000 will be given to you for your feeding as well. So it is in different categories, of course.
All right, Mr. Monafe, before you go, just very quickly, I know that this loan is for federal and state universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. But in the future, are you seeing plans for probably collaboration with private universities? Because everyone deserves access also to a loan. I mean, we're all citizens. Do you see in future private universities, students being able to access these loans for private universities?
The purpose of it will be defeated. I think I think Mr. President stated it the day we were signing this bill, that it is not for private investing at all.
I'm talking about the future.
It is for public. The future, I don't think we should strengthen the public one. I won't advocate for private. We should strengthen the public one so that we can make our public institutions and university to be very okay. If you have money, you can send your children to private. It means you have the fund. But those who don't have money, of course, and government can assist them. That is the purpose why it's okay. It should be for public schools only.
All right, Mr. Monafe, thank you so much for, of course, your insights on this particular issue. But I am sure you're also telling them that if they lie, if they make false statement, they'll be guilty of felony and they may go to jail for 3 years. I hope that's part of the conversation, because you must provide for this behavior in the law. I just wanted to find that out from you.
Okay, that was part of our sensitization too, so that you don't give false information. You don't give false information, because you will be charged for that. Of course, we'll do sensitization about it to let our students know that you have to be objective, to be honest with the information you provide as well, so that you don't. Then I think I want to quickly state this clearly, that we welcome these developments and we are very happy, excited about it as well.
All right. Lucky Emenofe, President, National Association of Nigerian Students, joining us to explain the backstory, as well as the new law that has been, the new legislation that has just been signed by the President concerning students' loan. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be on your studio. Thank you very much.